Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to resume the sessions now. I hope everyone enjoyed the lunch. Can we all give a huge round of applause before we begin, before we resume the sessions? Come on, everyone, let's give a huge round of applause. Thank you. So the next session is going to be on supporting policies and ecosystem for electronics manufacturing. And I request the following dignitaries to please come on the stage. I would request Mr. Hans Raj Verma, Director General, Council of State Industrial Development and Investment Corporations of India, retired IAS, CMD TIIC Tamil Nadu, to please join us on the stage. Can we all give a huge round of applause, everyone? Next, I would request Shri Vishal Kumar Dev, IAS, Principal Secretary, E&IT Department, Government of Odisha. I request you to please join us on the stage, sir. Can we all give a huge round of applause, everyone? Come on. Next, I would request Mr. Vineet Sheikh Sarya, Head India, Prologis, Infrastructure for Efficient Manufacturing. Can I request you to please join us on the stage? Mr. Vineet Sheikh Sarya. A huge round of applause, everyone. Come on. Next, Mr. L.N. Suresh, Vice President, Consulting Technology Solution, Codenext Supply Chain Visibility in the EMS industry. I request you to please join us on the stage, Mr. L.N. Suresh. A huge round of applause, everyone. Come on, let's keep clapping. I request Mr. Vaibhav Gupta, Director and Region Head, Business Banking, HSBC, to please join us on the stage. Mr. Vaibhav Gupta, a huge round of applause, everyone. Come on. So to start the session, I would request Mr. Hans Raj Verma, Director General, Council of State Industrial Development and Investment Corporations of India, retired IAS, CMD TIIC Tamil Nadu, to please start the session. Can we all give a huge round of applause, everyone? Come on.
My fellow panelists, distinguished members of the audience, Honorable Minister for Industries, Government of Tamil Nadu, Shri Raja, who will be joining us shortly, and friends. I represent an organization called the COSI DC. It's an apex body of the state finance corporations and the state industrial development corporations. It was formed in 1976, is serving the nations then. We have about 60 member constituents across India. By rotation, an officer who is a serving officer of the state finance corporation or the industrial development corporation will be the president. Currently, Laya Madhuri, the MD of the Assam Finance Corporation, the president of COCDC, and I am the Director General representing the Permanent Secretariat. Now, what is our mandate? Our mandate is to make the MSMEs competitive, to enhance their capabilities, to give them access to the latest technology, latest trends. For illustration, the budget 25-26 has announced a new special initiative for the export mission, in which there is a very special provision to enable the MSMEs to negotiate the non-trade measures like CBAM, UDR. So we partner with institutions like GGFT, Institute of Foreign Trade, and give training and knowledge to the MSMEs who are the member constituents of state finance corporations who are funded. So it's a pan-India presence. We take regular sessions on IR4, basics of finance, the emerging technologies. Our basic philosophy is the backbone of India's industrial might development is the MSMEs. And if India has to reach that magical figure of 25% of the GDP coming from manufacturing, from the current 17%, then the MSMEs have to play a very crucial role. Friends, as India marches towards Viksit Bharat 2047, the MSMEs have to play their mandated role. We collectively, all stakeholders, in partnership with all the associate organization entities, must focus on the MSMEs. Now, coming to Elsina, I've been associated with Elsina for several years, and electronic manufacturing is coming of age in India. It is being spread across the length and breadth of India, in which the MSMEs are going to be the very, very crucial supply chain partners. If India has to be a dominant player in the GVC, global supply chains, then the MSMEs are crucial. Right from the measures like CBAM, scope standards, IR4, energy efficiency, any of the measures, it is here COSI-DC partners with the states and the member constituents. So using this podium, this platform, I request all the members of this Elsina, of the semiconductor electronic industries, please partner with COSI-DC. It's not a profit institution, but with a clear mandate of empowering, strengthening our MSMEs so that they can contribute to India's journey for Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you and good day.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next, we have Shri Vishal Kumar Dev, IAS, Principal Secretary, ENIT Department, Government of Odisha, who will speak on opportunities and ecosystem in Odisha for ESDM industry. Shri Vishal Dev sir is an Indian Administrative Service IAS officer of 1996 batch. He presently serves as the Principal Secretary, Department of Energy and Electronics and Information Technology Department, Government of Odisha. Prior to his present role, he was serving as Principal Secretary, Finance Department. Over a long and distinguished career with the Government of Odisha, he has worked in domains such as urban development, industrial development, IT, tourism, and many other important ones. He is credited with contributing to the transformation of Odisha's industrial and IT landscape. He also led the team tasked with Odisha's preparations for hosting the Men's Hockey World Cup 2018. Can we all give a huge round of applause for Ms. Shri Vishal Kumar Dev, sir?
Thank you for a very generous introduction. Distinguished panelists in the dais, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you. I think what we have today is a classic case of post-lunch conference syndromes, so where the attendance is very thin, but nevertheless. So I represent a state called Odisha. It's on the eastern coast, and before I talk about our IT policy, etc., I'll just want to give a very brief introduction of what Odisha is about, because the perception of Odisha has always been that of a poor and a backward state. But ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you that if there has been one story of transformation among the states in the country in the last quarter of a century, it has been of Odisha. Way back around the 2000s, we were nowhere when it came to industrial development or investments. As on today, we are among the top 3 investment destinations in manufacturing in the country. A state which was practically bankrupt way back in 2000 with a debt stock to GSDP ratio of 57%, where we were forced to borrow to repay our loans, to a situation today where we started the current financial year with a revenue surplus of 37,700 crores. The Niti Aayog very recently introduced its fiscal health index, and Odisha topped that index among all the states in the country. So sector after sector, I spoke about finance, the per capita income. Way back in 2015, the gap between the national per capita income and the state per capita income was 31%. Today it is down to 9%. And the rate at which we are growing, in another 8 to 10 years, our per capita income would surpass the national average. You look at improvements in the social sector. The highest reduction in poverty, the highest reduction in infant mortality rate, the highest reduction in maternal mortality rate, the highest increase in institutional births come from Odisha. We spend the highest percentage of our budget on capital expenditure, and the ratio of our development to establishment expenditure as part of the budget is the highest again in the country. There are states which are literally left with nothing once their salary and pension burdens and freebie burdens are met. In our case, we spend more than 50% of our budget on development expenditure. Someone was asking about power tariff in Odisha. We are a power surplus state, and our power tariff is the lowest in the country. It ranges from 2 rupees 90 paisa per unit to about 6.90. 6 rupees 90 paisa for industrial tariff. And as I said, we are a power surplus state. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is Odisha today stands out as a model of good governance in the country. We held our investor summit on the 28th and 29th of January, which was hugely successful. We attracted about investment intents to the tune of about 16.73 lakh crores, out of which IT amounted for about 22,000 crores. What's important is that over the past 7-8 years, if you look at the conversion ratio of MOU signed to actual grounding of the project, ours stands at about 14%. Compared to 8, 9, 10% of various other states. So it is not just that we are attracting higher level of investments, we are also able to convert a very significant percentage of them as into projects on the ground. On the technology side, we have a fairly vibrant IT and IT-enabled services ecosystem. We have all the biggest companies at Cognizant, Accenture, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, etc. What is important is, friends, that our policies have been benchmarked to be better than the best in the country today. For example, you look at our semiconductor policy, we offer 30% capital investment subsidy with no cap. And the electronics policy is also under revision. We'll be making it at par with the semiconductor policies. We've recently got 4 compound semiconductor proposals which have been approved, and one of them, RIR Power Electronics Limited, is going to begin their production in August this year. The first product is going to come out in August, so maybe a few months from now. When we talk of subsidy, it's also important to understand anyone can promise anything, any state can promise. But does that state have the ability and the willingness to pay? In our case, we definitely do. So as I said, a revenue surplus of almost 38,000 crores. And we are very particular. The government has always maintained that if we can pay 100 rupees, we should promise 99 and not 101. And the second is we are very, very particular about meeting and honoring our commitments that have been made to the industry. We have, again, many policies which already exist: data center, IT, ITES, BPO. We are coming out with new policies for AI, for GCCs, for fintech. The president of Singapore visited us last month. Odisha was the only state which he came to. We've signed an MOU with the Global Finance and Technology Network for developing a fintech city in Bhubaneswar. And we have also signed an MOU for green energy development. For GCCs also, a very, very attractive policy is going to be coming, wherein we've held very intensive discussions with the industry. Consultations have been held. And I can assure you that the policy will again offer the finest set of incentives that any state can offer. On the talent availability side, again, Odisha stands out. We produce about 200,000 graduates every year, out of which about 100,000 are engineers. It's not just the IIT, the NIT, the triple ITs that we have, but we have a plethora of very good engineering colleges which are ranked very well in the NIRF top 100 rankings. And what we've also done is we have set up a World Skills Center, which is an institution of excellence on skills training. It's in a partnership with ITEES of Singapore. And WSC is starting Center of Excellence on new and emerging technologies like AI, etc. It's an institution which you have to come and see. We started the Odisha Skills Development Authority way back in the about 10 years back, and Mr. Shubroto Bagchi, who would be a very familiar name to many of you, the founder of Mindtree Consulting, he was the first chairman of OSDA, Odisha Skills Development Authority, in the rank of a cabinet minister. He was the one who grounded the organization. And today, Skilled in Odisha, his objective was to build Skilled in Odisha as a brand name, and I'm happy to tell you that we have been able to do it very successfully. And today, wherever you go in the world, you will come across someone or the other in, he could be an air conditioner mechanic or an electrician or someone who would be from Odisha and trained at WSC and under the aegis of the Odisha Skills Development Authority. We are launching a program called OCHIP, which aims at providing 360-degree support, financial, technological, infrastructural, and mentorship support to companies in the chip design field. And during our investor summit last month, we signed an MOU with SFAL of Karnataka to run and operate our OCHIP program. One of the compound semiconductor companies, which is going to be starting in Odisha, has set up a Silicon Carbide Research and Innovation Center in IIT Bhubaneswar, funded by them, which will act as a major center for research and innovation work in the field of compound semiconductors. So this is kind of, in a nutshell, I wanted to share about what's happening in Odisha. It's a very exciting place to be in. It's a great place to be in. And sector after sector, as I said, there have been improvements, and we look forward to welcoming most of you over there, and we assure that you will be receiving full support from the government, and we look forward to welcoming the team of Elsina and all other investors and entrepreneurs here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the insightful thoughts, sir. Moving on, we have Mr. Vineet Seksaria with us, Head India Prologis, who will talk on infrastructure for efficient manufacturing. Vineet Seksaria joined Prologis as Head of India in January 2023. Prior to this, Vineet worked for 15 years for Morgan Stanley Real Estate Investing in New York and Mumbai. Most recently, as Managing Director running the India office, Vineet has an MBA from the University of Chicago. He resides in Mumbai with his wife Yamini and two daughters Sitara and Suhana. Can we all give a huge round of applause for Mr. Vineet Seksaria, everyone?
Thank you, everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit about what we do, and I think while be very, very relevant for what a lot of you all do. So I'll quickly introduce myself. I think she's introduced generally, but I run the business for Prologis in India. I think Prologis is a company that a lot of us are not familiar with. So let me just take a moment to explain what we do. All right. So we are a US-based company. We are basically a developer of industrial and logistics facilities globally. We are basically the largest company in this space. We are an NYSE-listed company with a market cap of 120 billion, which makes us the 70th largest company in America. And basically, this is the business that we do globally. We own and operate 1.3 billion square feet of industrial buildings. So in some places, we are so large, like for example, in the US, about 36% of the US goods go through our buildings. 3% of the global GDP goes through our buildings. So that's how large this company is. This is all of our own capital. So this is not third-party money. This is all of our own capital with our own balance sheet. We've also been ranked as sort of the most admired real estate company among the Fortune 500 companies. So just to give you a little bit of sense of sort of what are we doing in India, right? We've now bought land in 3 locations. We bought over 300 acres in Sriperumbudur, in Hosur, in Tamil Nadu, both of these, and in Hoskote near Bangalore. And we are developing large-scale industrial and logistics parks. These are buildings that a lot of you can kind of come in and do plug-and-play manufacturing, right? We are happy to invest all the capital that we need to basically build these buildings for your specific needs. Obviously, a lot of what we do is, with a big focus on sustainability. Also because it's our own capital, we will basically never sell. So you have a very clear, long-term partner here where you can be comfortable that we are the partner next year and we're the partner 15 years from now because we never sell our product. So look, a lot of what we do at Prologis is a big focus on EHS with a big focus on, sort of sustainability. I won't go into a lot of this in detail, but these are a lot of things that, we really keep in mind when we develop our product. Obviously, net zero is very important. We've got 2040 goals to have scope 3 net zero as well. And all of our buildings are going to be IGBC Platinum rated. We do a full life cycle carbon assessment, etc. So now, to give you a little bit of sense of what we are doing specifically, our first project is in Hoskote. This is in partnership with a company called RMZ in Bangalore, the very large developer based out of Bangalore. And this is about 32 kilometers from the CBD, from UBCT, on Chintamani Road. And here is where we can provide sort of plug-and-play facilities for you by the end of the year. Right, 2 buildings, by the end of the year, we can provide this facility for you, right? So again, I won't spend a lot of time. I think there are some brochures on your tables coming soon as well. And we've got very high-grade specifications for these buildings. The next one is in Sriperumbudur. It's basically bang on the Chennai-Bangalore highway, right, in sort of really the middle of all the action. You can see the Foxconn and the Samsung factory, et cetera, right? So this is over 200 acres. We'll be building an area dedicated for electronics manufacturing, right? So there's about a 50-60 acre area that we can dedicate for electronics manufacturing. So, it could really be an integral part of something that you could look at. And then the last site is in Hosur. This is about 15 kilometers before the site where Tata is making iPhones. The Tata campus where they're making iPhones. It's about 15 kilometers before that site. And we are going to be building about 800,000 square feet on 36-acre land parcel. So look, I don't want to spend too much time, but we've done this globally for a lot of different companies. For L'Oreal, we built carbon neutral buildings. For Jaguar Land Rover, we built a 2 million square feet facility where they actually make the cars, right? Same with Hankook Tire, and for LG, we built a well-certified facility. So we have a lot of deep experience doing this for a lot of companies globally, and we can bring that to bear in an Indian context. So yeah, I think that's a little bit about it, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So moving on to the next one, we have Mr. L.N. Suresh, Vice President, Consulting Technology Solution, Code Next, who will be speaking on supply chain visibility in the EMS industry. With 25 plus years experience in technology solution, consulting for Industry 4.0 Smart MFG SCM, Mr. L.N. Suresh is a seasoned technology sales leader, growth consultant and rainmaker. He is recognized research consultant by global research firms. Mr. Suresh has won accolades like Best Performer for consecutive years, Excellence Award for being instrumental in firm's new business growth, and recognized as Best Employee for consistency and leadership quality. He has exposure to FMCG, CPG, automobile, retail, chemical, agro, and most discrete manufacturing industry with focus in advocating digital transformation in business, IT, and Industry 4.0 manufacturing, SCMIT. A huge round of applause once again for Mr. L.N. Suresh, everyone.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great honor for me to be part of this panel and participate along with this panelist, esteemed panelist. But what cheers me in any of this event when I'm there for, it's basically the audience. But I feel that Elsina has given a good food today and a retirement room also nearby. So when compared to the last session, the audience are very less. So coming to the presentation of that. So I represent CodeNext. CodeNext is a 30-year-old organization headquartered in Mumbai, having offices across India. So we are into supply chain consulting practice and providing the technology solutions with the relevant technologies to take care of the supply chain traceability. So I'm here to present the supply chain visibility in electronic industry to address what are the challenges they are facing and how it can be addressed through the solutions prevailing in the industries. So a couple of case studies also I can touch upon based on my experience. I have 33 years of experience, total experience, out of which 27 years is purely on supply chain traceability. So I have seen the major transformation in these 27 years, how the supply chain has been transformed from what it was 25 years before and what it is today. So what my recognition about this supply chain traceability is today, 10-15 years before, supply chain visibility was looked at is good to have. But today, it is being seen as best practice in any organization today to get the best visibility. And it is also driving the compliance today. Whoever is into the export today, major markets like US and Europe demands the compliance for that. The compliance is more of the traceabilities of the quality of the product, the reliability of the product, the authentication of the product, and it also needs to meet the environment very specific to the geo. So the traceability is very important for the environment sustainability. So these are the subjects which we can cover during this traceability point of view. So why supply chain visibility is must to have today? So when it was good to have, now it has been transformed to have must to have. So very specifically in the EMS industry, the major challenge today, you take example of a mobile as a today, the product life cycle is diminishing today. Earlier, whenever we had the mobile, we used to have the mobile using for 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, as long it can sustain. But today, the consumer expectation has also grown, not only for the mobile phones, not even for the consumer durables today, the televisions or the refrigerators, whichever we are using it. Even the influence has come to the automobile industries today. You take any automobile today everything on touch base today, everything is being electronically driven. So the product life cycle is totally diminishing. So this is becoming a cause of concern for the EMS industry to majorly to how to manage the inventory. So the cost of inventory management is the raw materials and the FGs. So how do we control it? Unless we don't have the traceability in place, it cannot be controlled. So the visibility across the supply chain is very critical to manage the inventory and to plan the production. So improved visibility allows us to take the better decisions for the planning of the productions as well as for the supply chain. The other major challenge which any products today, irrespective of the electronics, the other challenge is the counterfeits coming in. So there are a lot of counterfeits which is coming into the market. It also needs to be controlled. So the only way is to implement the technologies in place to control the counterfeits. And today in the global market, there are many compliance in place with regard to the back traceability, return management, recalls because of the quality, and every global geolocation has a compliance in place for the environment sustainability. So I'll give one of the case study of the environment sustainability which happened in one of the largest brand, which can be last case study. So today, Indian government is also bringing in some part of the compliance in place. Today, they have started with very specific industries like pharma, where the back traceability is very important, DGFT, whenever there is an export happening, because any returns has to be managed why the quality issue has been originated from India. So similarly, they have brought in some of the consumer products also. Now B certification is being brought up with the back traceability for the refrigerators. So now agro is being brought into the traceability for the authentication of the product, so that the farmer uses the right agro product. When they buy the product, it's been authenticated, that's they're buying the genuine product, because a lot of counterfeits is coming in the agro industry. So Indian government is soon will bring the compliance into EMS also. So this is the time any EMS company need to be ready for adapting to the supply chain traceability. So the supply chain process of the ecosystem which we are going to talk about is, normal process is basically component procurement, manufacturing, move the product towards the supply chain and sell it to the consumer. The seller may be the OEM or they can be the manufacturer itself. So in the whole ecosystem, there are 5 partners who are involved: the component manufacturers, the EMS or the OEM who manufactures it, the logistics provider who takes the product to the market, the distribution channel who sells the product, and the consumer who buys the product. So the supply chain challenges of the EMS industry is the shrinking operating margins. Because it's becoming a very competitive, electronics has become a very competitive industry today because of the margins are shrinking. So higher the inventory, lesser the margin. Component supply demand on long lead times. So the lead times getting bigger because the components, we had a semiconductor issue which led to the higher lead times. So still it is improving. Uncertain demand for the products from the market. No one is able to predict it because the supply chain traceability is not there. Inventory visibility across the supply chain channel. Regulatory compliance of environment sustainability is yet to be implemented in India, but globally it is there already. Warranty claims and recalls. So warranty claims, whoever is the manufacturer of the EMS, if the OEM company is going to send back, there should be some traceability to understand which raw material created these warranty issues, or any recalls, quality issues, bulk recalls for any of the product. Automobile industry is a classic example for that, for accepting the quality issue and recalling it. Still, the electronic industry has not grown to that extent to accept the quality issue and recall it, but this will be soon implemented in EMS industry. I'm sure that whoever from the logistics or supply chain would have heard about this terminology. I'm very specifically touching upon this terminology because the bull-whip effect or the Forrester effect is very common for any industry. It can arise either during a launch of a product or during the life cycle of the product. The cause of the product, this effect is basically an unrealistic demand created from the market. While launching the product, many customers come and show the interest that I want this product. After that, may cancel the order. And during the process of when the life cycle of the product is over, the retailers may assume something, distributors may assume something, and there will be promotions. Because of that, the orders may come in. This will purely affect the productions because the raw materials wouldn't be planned accordingly. So this is going to affect the productions. There are case studies related to it in multiple industries. I can touch upon certain industries of the automobile itself. Volvo, one of the time, they manufactured a car with all green colors, assuming that the green is very receptive in the market. But ultimately, when the production is over, there is no receptiveness in the market for the particular green. They had abundance in stock. Similarly, whichever the cars which has been recently launched today, there is booking of 50,000 and 1 lakh. The lead time is almost 2 years now. So how do we manage this inventory? Even the production capacity may not meet the requirement. The solution for this is basically, there is buzz in the market that supply chain analytics, EAS are coming, so that will solve our problem. But the traditional way, before even all these technologies came into place, or even the digitization came into the place, when the traditional, EDP department was working, the traditional way was the EDIs, the electronic data interchange. which helps to exchange the data through a file format, but there is an involvement of human intervention into it. There is an effort. That's the first phase of transformation which happened in the electronic data transfer. Then comes the next level traceability, which is globally practiced is basically the serialization, complaints using the barcode technology or the RFID technology. This is the best practice today, as long today, in any industry today, whether it is an EMS industry, whether it is a pharma industry, whether it is an automobile industry, you can easily relate to any of your cars, whatever you have a VIN number, which is a unique serial number. Similarly, every product has a unique serial number. In the specific of the electronic industry, it is called EPC, which is an electronic product code. Today, any product will have a UPC, which is a unique product code, but it is static in nature. But EPC is unique to that particular sellable unit, so that any challenges during the supply chain you can easily trace back. And when the product moves across the journey from the product manufacturing to the end consumer, it can be easily traced by scanning the barcodes. From the manufacturer to the warehouse to the distributor to the retailer to the seller. This can even promote the loyalty of the product also. So I'm giving a case study of that bullwhip effect. So basically, for the case study of one of the supply chain traceability here. I'm taking a very old history of, I think when I said that it is going to be the PlayStation brand, you can easily relate to it, which brand it is. Every one of us used it, as kids would have used it. So they faced a major recall. Basically, when it has been identified that cadmium is very high in that particular electronic product which has been manufactured at that particular time. So it is an identification by doing a lab test. But the company found it very difficult to backtrace it, in which batch it has occurred, from which factory it has been originated. So they have to go around and find out which raw material created it, who is the supplier of the raw material, which plant produced it, because of which almost 160 million materials are being stopped not to be sent to the market. But actually the fact is, all the products doesn't have the cadmium excess in that. But only a very specific manufacturing setup or the raw material product had it, but the lab test, only one product is being tested. So it is being said that the whole brand had a cadmium high, so material cannot go to the market. So this is the very stringent standard of European standards, which I am talking about 15 years before. This itself clearly states that where India is today. We are not concerned about the environment sustainability. So when Indian government brings all this policy, are we ready for that, for the supply chain traceability? So that's the question we need to look at it. So that's why, again repeating, this is a must to have today for the supply chain visibility today in the market. So that's the end of the slide. If you have any queries, you can ask now, or you can reach out to me for the free consulting. Codenext is always there for the free consulting. And we provide the technology solution for across the supply chain, from the raw material, linking to the FG, till the last mile connectivity to consumers. Fine? Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for a valuable session, sir. Moving on, we have Mr. Vaibhav Gupta, Director and Region Head, Business Banking, HSBC. Mr. Vaibhav Gupta is a seasoned banker with 25 plus years of experience, largely in commercial banking, all throughout in HSBC. In his current role, Mr. Vaibhav manages business banking segment in southern India. Mr. Vaibhav is actively involved in managing international corridors and tapping the supply chain ecosystem. Once again, a huge round of applause for Mr. Vaibhav Gupta, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, panelists, for such a, I must say, I think Mr. Vishal, you gave a very passionate speech about Odisha. And I've been myself there. I can say that Bhubaneswar is one of the cleanest city, urban city which I have traveled in India. So kudos to you and to your team. Perhaps I think I'm the odd one out in this entire assembly of people. Banker, okay? I think this is all about electronics. I think what a banker is doing. So I represent HSBC. I don't think so I need to introduce HSBC. HSBC is in fact one of the oldest bank, for many of you who would be surprised to know, is that we are present in India for about more than 160 years. In fact, we were the first bank to bring ATM into India way back in 1987 in Calcutta. We just completed 100 years of our Calcutta branch last month. So we are as old, or maybe perhaps older than the State Bank of India. It's just that we're licensed under foreign banks, and we have a geographical limitation to extend our branch network. But despite having only 26 branches, I think certain statistics will certainly make you think of what we are. We handle 16% of India's forex trade. So for 16% of forex trade which happens in India is handled by HSBC. 10% of India's imports and exports is handled by HSBC, second to SBI, because SBI also handles the government oil payments, which are significantly large. So I think we recently we're perhaps the only bank to have got, the foreign bank to have got a license to open 20 more branches in India, which shows how important now the regulator is also viewing a bank like us. HSBC India has done significantly leaps and bounds in last couple of years, thanks to the digital economy which has helped, thanks to the data stack which India has been able to build, that we are now the third largest profit contributor for the bank in India. So I think some of these statistics do talk about our commitment for India, and I'm very happy to be part of this electronic segment, because what we feel at HSBC India is that electronic segment is at a breakout stage, or perhaps at a stage which a couple of decades back was what was at IT services. And I think some of these statistics which has been given by certain people here some time back shows that how 5 times growth have happened, or the 5 times growth is expected to happen in next couple of years. So definitely this is one area where we are very keen. As I said that I handle business banking. Business banking is a segment where we manage clients from startups to about $100 million, which is about 750, 800 crores company. What we have seen in the electronics is, and we again leverage upon our global corporates, because almost 55% of the MNCs bank with us in India. And all the major electronic global corporates bank with us in India and abroad. What we are intending to do is how do we leverage our relationship and help small and medium-sized electronic company. When I say small and medium-sized, I don't mean by companies which are 1 crore, 2 crore. We mean companies about 50 crores to 500 crore turnover companies. How we can help in financing the supply chain of the global corporates, and also the individual companies managing their working capital. What we have, and especially because we now have very strong balance sheet to support, because we are the highest liquid banks in India, and we have global expertise in terms of giving you foreign currency solutions, giving you foreign currency loans, giving you export loans, pre-shipment loans, post-shipment loans, all suites of products we have. So we are very bullish on the supply chain segment for the electronic industry. As I said, that many global corporates bank with us, not just in India, but globally. We therefore leverage upon their expertise. We leverage upon our own expertise, our own research in this electronic segment, and help you provide solutions. So that's what we do at HSBC. We are a full stack commercial bank. I've already met some people here who I think would be keen to know from us in terms of what best we can do. And just to clarify, our name says Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. We are a British bank and significantly growing across the globe. We do provide retail banking services, employee solutions. So we are a full stack corporate bank, and hope to interact with you more. And thank you for your audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all the esteemed speakers for sharing your valuable insights with us. We appreciate the time and expertise you have shared with us. Thank you once again. Now, I would request Mr. N. Ramachandran sir, past President, LCNA and CMD, Mel Systems and Services, Private Limited to please come on the stage to give away their mementos as a token of appreciation. Can we all give him a huge round of applause, everybody? Come on. We thank Mr. Hansraj Verma, Director General, Council of State, Industrial Development and Investment Corporations of India, retired IAS, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, we thank Mr. Hans Raju Ammasa for being here today. Once again, a huge round of applause, everyone. Come on, let's keep clapping. Next, we would like to thank Shri Vishal Kumar Dev Sir, IAS, Principal Secretary, ENIT Department, Government of Odisha. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, a huge round of applause for Shri Vishal Kumar Dev, everyone. I request everyone to please keep clapping. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep clapping. Next, we would like to thank Mr. Vineet Sheikh Saria, Head India Prologis, for being here today. So can we all give a huge round of applause for Mr. Vineet Sheikh Saria as well, once again. Come on everyone, let's keep clapping, let's keep the energy high, come on. Next, we would like to thank Mr. L.N. Suresh, Vice President, Consulting Technology Solution Code Next, for being here today. Once again, a huge round of applause for Mr. L.N. Suresh, sir. And we would like to thank Mr. Vaibhav Gupta, Director and Region Head Business Banking, HSBC, for being here today. Once again, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I request everyone to please keep clapping for Mr. Vaibhav Gupta. Thank you so much to all the speakers once again. End of today's wonderful event. Thank you so much to everyone for being here, taking time out of your busy schedule and being here today. Your presence is deeply appreciated. Once again, thanks one and all. We have a session, we'll be having the same event tomorrow once again, starting at exactly 10 a.m. in the morning. So we deeply appreciate your presence tomorrow as well. Thank you so much once again everyone for being here once again. This is me, MC Shamya, signing off. Thank you.